Bam. Salute, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Now, welcome to Simple Shit TV. Normally, I talk about politics and so on and so forth. I have another channel where I do boxing workouts and so on. And as I'm building up that channel, I feel like, hey, I might as well stream on both. So check this out. I was checking out some of my old gloves, and it made me think about some of the stuff that um I'm just kind of shocked that these things are still kind of alive and kicking. And I've had a lot of other gloves in the meantime. And some of the stuff that I thought was important about gloves before, I'm realizing wasn't that important now. So I thought I would share some of my knowledge, or at least some of my insights. And then we can take a look at some of the options on Amazon, at least some of the things that pop up first. And then we can take a look at a pair of gloves that I have on my website that I use myself, because I have no problem co-signing the stuff that I use myself. So anyway, we'll start with this. This is a pair of gloves that I got from NAZO Boxing about six or 7 years ago. Company out of LA. And I started noticing that they were making bags for Mayweather and a bunch of other boxers. And so I reached out to one, buy some bags. I bought some heavy bags in my other studio, and told them I needed some gloves. So they sent me some gloves. And these are 16-ounce bag gloves, and they have taken a beating. They have absolutely taken a beating. These gloves I've used myself. These gloves have traveled to New York with me and back. These gloves have been used by some of my clients, and they don't smell. But I'm kind of shocked that they're still alive and kicking. They're not torn apart. They're not all busted up. And there are places where other gloves have fallen short. These things are still alive and kicking. Now, at this point, the foam is pretty much done in these. I really don't use them anymore. They're done at this point. But the fact that I could use this glove all the way to the point to where the foam breaks down and I can't punch with them anymore, but the Velcro still works. The insides of the gloves are not all torn up. Normally what happens is as you start to wear these gloves, the Velcro, one side probably more than the other. You got to think every time you take the glove on and off. I mean, sometimes I'll take the glove on and off at least one side so I can take a drink, I don't know, 20, 25 times over the course of a workout, oh shit, Broken Blade. What's up, bro? Hold on. I didn't even notice you were back there. What's up, bro? How you doing, sir?
I just saw you did a class today. I'm like, fuck, man.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to, I can't be, I'd love to, moving forward, if I can't personally do one, I'm going to have a stream set up to go live anyway, even if it's a replay from the day before. So there will be a class up no matter what. Yeah, man, I was just discussing the gloves. I had, this is like one of my older pairs of boxing gloves. And, I was thinking about all the gloves that I own and what I use them for. And I wanted to kind of just talk about some of the things that are important that you don't really think are important, like you don't really expect, right? So I'm just kind of start at the bottom of the glove and work my way up, the Velcro, I typically, I'm right-handed, but when I pull my glove off, I always pull the glove off my right hand. So the Velcro on one side is a little bit not quite as good as the other. Actually, I'm kind of shocked. They're almost even. Huh. These gloves are like old. These gloves are like 6 or 7 years old. And I've had multiple pairs of other brands that have come and gone while these are still alive and kicking. And that's kind of why I was like, dang, that's part of the reason why that's why I wanted to make my bags with these guys. Like one, because one, because they're made in America, but two, because I'm like, yo, I have punished these gloves. Like I've punished these gloves. And they're still, I mean, like I said before you got up here, the foam at this point is kind of done now. I mean, like if it's about that time. Like if I'm just like hitting the mitts or something or not hitting something hard, it's probably okay. But they're finally kind of broken down. I'm like, I probably shouldn't.
It's a hell of a run though.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing too. It's that they didn't come apart before that part. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still intact. Inside, normally what happens is, I don't know if the light will get in there. Usually what'll happen is this stuff will start to tear. And also on the inside of the glove where your nails are, that stuff will start to tear. Yeah. All that stuff is still intact on these. It's not coming apart. Usually what'll happen is you'll get a tear right here because putting your hands inside and outside the glove, it'll usually tear there. And I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a bungee, like an elastic band that goes across the top here. Gotcha. Underneath. Usually that gets all stretched out and torn apart. That is intact still. I'm a little bit shocked about that still. Now, what I will say is that I don't know if you can really see because of you can kind of start to see it's right here, starting to kind of tear or flake a little bit. So white gloves wear a little bit differently than all the other colors. So if you're worried about cracking, white gloves crack first. I don't know whether it's the way that they treat it to make it white or the color or how they whatever, but for whatever reason, white gloves tend to crack first. So they'll give you the least amount of time no matter how you store them. So if you were to take a white glove and a black glove and you really take care of them, keep them in a moist place, not let them all super duper dry in dry places and whatever. This will happen to the white ones well before the black ones. So that's a tidbit of information that nobody ever gave me. The Velcro is important. Some of these gloves now have this kind of like finer Velcro. And again, I really didn't think that these things would last, but they hold. It's not it's still not the best. I mean, it's definitely like gotten old, but it's not. It holds. I
just about it flying off your hand.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't come off. They don't come off. So I was a little bit shocked by that. So those are some of the things that you look for. Now, let's talk about. So we talked about color, because that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. Color, how white breaks down a little bit earlier. Let's talk about size. I'm not sure, or size and weight, right? So let's get rid of these guys because these guys are not that fun to look at. Now, this is a 12-ounce glove. This is a 14-ounce glove. And this is a 16-ounce glove. Now, all of them, you can absolutely tell the difference. Like you can feel them. Like you can absolutely feel the difference between all of them. So 12 ounces. Alvin, when do you use a 12-ounce glove? When I want to feel fast. When I want to feel fast and my arms are tired is when I use a 12-ounce glove. Now, I am a 6 foot, 200-pound man, so take that into consideration. So for children, women, smaller guys, maybe a 12-ounce glove is okay for you, or heavy enough. You have to think about, am I using the glove am I hitting mitts the majority of the time? Meaning like when somebody's like working with you, are you hitting heavy bag most of the time? Or are you doing like some sparring work? So what type of work you're doing is going to dictate what size glove that you really want to have. Got me? 14-ounce glove, 16-ounce glove. Now, here's the thing. You can't always tell by size.
No.
Sometimes the foams are more dense, sometimes they're less dense.
Gotcha.
Right? So let's see if we can do this. All
Yeah,
right.
pretty similar in size.
Pretty similar in size. Like you really can't tell the difference that much. Right? You've got this, like I said, 14, 16. Now I can it's not that, it's not a ton, but I can absolutely feel the difference between the two. You can even just holding them up, you can really feel the difference between the two. But the types of foams that the gloves are made out of are absolutely going to dictate what that actually looks and feels like. And I'm going to give you a perfect example right now. So that is these are training gloves. These are great for bag gloves. Okay. So if I were to buy gloves just for the bag, it would be like this. This is one of my favorite. I like they're cut a little bit different. This at the moment is like my favorite glove. I know, even though it's a little bit less expensive than this guy. This is, as of right now, probably my favorite bag glove. Second favorite here. Now I do have these on the website for sale. So, just for the record, let me put this on here. I put a discount code. Hold on real quick. I'm going to do this. I'll cover it in a little bit. So I got $25 off. So if you want, I think these will be $70 on the website with the code that I'm going to put up for anybody that wants gloves. Normally 95. So the things that you look for obviously are going to be the padding on the side, padding on the thumb. They're usually the thumb and the rest of the glove is attached. Now, this part right here, it doesn't seem like much. Let me do it on the white glove since it's a little bit easier to see.
Yeah.
That little thing right there that ties
Yeah.
that for the cheaper gloves will come apart. Crappier gloves, that will come apart. That right there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like much, but it'll keep you from breaking your thumb and or poking somebody in the eye. That's what it's there for, to keep your thumb attached to the rest of your hand.
Gotcha.
Got me? So in addition to that, things that you look for, ventilation on the inside of the glove. Some gloves will have holes here, holes there. Some gloves will have like mesh on the inside so it can breathe. Every glove is a little bit different. Some gloves, I don't know if you can see it or not, there is a little lump here in the middle. It's almost like holding a bag quarters in your hand. There's like they intentionally sew a ridge in the center there. That's a foam ridge that you would hold in your hand when you're throwing punches. So that's part of the glove that you would also consider when you're, finding a glove that you like also.
Just a tactile thing to remind you to keep the fist tight, or
No, it gives your hand a cushion. Your hand will cramp.
Gotcha.
Your hand will cramp. So it gives you something to hold on to like squeeze in your hand. It gives you some feedback on the inside of the hand. So it almost like backs up your knuckles a little bit. So there's intentional padding there. Also, and I never hear people talk about this stuff. There's also sorry. I got all the gloves out so I could like show you guys. There's also padding on the side here. Okay. Now remember, if you're obviously you're just punching the bag, but if you happen to be sparring or doing stuff, you're going to be taking shots. You're going to be taking hits on these too, right? So it's not just the knuckle, but you might get hit on the back of the hand. You might be getting hit on the side over here. So you want to make sure that you can kind of cover up all together, right? So the foam on the back of the hand in that case would matter. Now, if I'm only going to be punching the bag and I'm never, ever, ever going to be sparring anybody or hitting anybody, that doesn't matter quite as much. But if you know, if at some point you might be sparring somebody or you want to be in a situation where you're like, oh, I could, in my boxing class, you might go to a boxing class and a boxing class should be like, okay, you might pair up with somebody and they might be punching you. And when you're throwing punching drills, even though you're going like half speed, somebody, it hurts. Like it doesn't feel good. So you want to make sure that your hand and everything is protected. So okay. So we've got the weight of the glove, 16 ounces. You've got obviously like the Velcro, that's pretty important. The way that the hook, the loop is, they call it the loop. The way that the loop is actually manufactured is important. So is it like just kind of surface level sewed on there, or does it look like it's sewed deep into the middle of the glove?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because that stuff is important. Ventilation of the glove. Is this glove going to breathe? Are my hands going to get all crazy sweaty? Is it going to be all that's going to matter too. Because usually there's like holes here, holes there, or there might be mesh here, mesh there, mesh there. Like I was saying before, what's the structure like here? Like what's the structure of the glove look like, here in the middle? And what else? And then just the overall shape. Oh, you can know if you can tell or not. One of these gloves is kind of a little bit more got flatter vibes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then this one's kind of got more of a rounded knuckle, a rounded top. Again, preference. In fact, speaking of that, hold on. So, because we were talking about size. Now, this glove is also a 16-ounce glove, but this is a sparring glove. So this is a glove that I use for sparring. So if I'm just going to spar with somebody and I know that I'm just going to spar with somebody, this is my sparring glove. Now, it's got way more cushion on the top. The foams are less dense, so it's a bigger glove, but it's still 16 ounces. Let's see. I don't know if you can tell. They kind of look the same in the camera, but this is a much larger, seems like a much larger glove. See all that extra, what looks like extra padding right here?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like this glove wraps around a little bit more, like all the foam wraps around your hand a little bit more. And then as far as like the Velcro is concerned, this is a little bit different too. So it's got a different type of Velcro, and then it's got a bungee or an elastic band on here so that you can get it a lot tighter too. So this is a higher quality glove made more so for sparring than this is. Bag glove, light sparring glove. Bag glove, light sparring glove. Okay. Again, how hardcore is look, check this out. Look at see how the loop. So the other thing was like this little strap that was between the two, right? Look at that. That is a big old piece of leather that ties it in from here to there. See that? Versus this.
Yeah.
See that? Versus this whole side right here. I don't know if you could tell or not. That whole side is so almost that whole thing is all tied in, right? Yeah. So those are some of the subtle differences between the gloves. Also, this is a more expensive glove. This is probably about $150 glove versus about a $90 glove, $95 glove. Gotcha. Right. So those are some of the things that'll make a big difference. Also, I think this is taller too. So they're both sitting on my they're both sitting on my desk right now. And then look how much taller this one is. Now, the majority of that comes from here, wrist. So the wrist support and the bottom of the glove. So, because again, like I said, you're going to be taking punches on the backs of your hands and stuff. So if you also look, it's all built up, like the side of the glove, this part is built up. This part is built up. And then the back here, there's a lot more cushion in the back of the glove. Now, once again, still a 16-ounce glove. Both 16-ounce gloves. But like I said, this is a sparring glove. So I would use this to spar, or if I know I'm going to be getting hit or hitting somebody back, this is just if I'm going to be hitting the heavy bag, is what I would use. Now, next step up is the actual, and I want to show the other glove just because now the actual competition, an actual boxing glove, like if I were to actual boxing competition. Now, this is a competition glove. Now, this is a glove that you would actually use if you were to actually fight. Now, also, 16-ounce glove. It's a 16-ounce glove, but it's tiny compared to the other glove, right? So think about this. These guys that are fighting professionally fight with 8-ounce and 10-ounce gloves. This is a 16-ounce glove. So there's a lot less material. Now, again, denser foam.
Yeah.
Pretty solid loop from here to there. But again, laces. So that's when you get into competition gloves, you actually get laces instead of Velcro. So this is kind of real deal Holyfield. Now, for all of my professional boxers out there, they're like, duh, but people don't really know. People just don't know. A lot less cushion. It's a lot denser. Like this just feels does not feel good when you get hit on your arms and hands and everything. But and you know what? It's actually funny thing. It's actually it's just a way denser foam. Like this is pretty dense. Like, it's a pretty dense, thick. It's thin, but it's thick. You can tell that there's not a lot of give, right? And it's also look at how easily that's like to squeeze. Right? Now this is a actual professional boxing glove, right? Now look at this. Right? So this is like a pillow. Like a really thick, solid pillow. This is like so the difference is getting hit by this, because think, okay, you can feel my knuckles through here. Can't really feel my knuckles through here. You can feel my knuckles through here. You know? And so that's the difference between the two. Sparring glove, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I just want to get the punches off. Right? I'm trying to hurt somebody. Not trying to hurt somebody. Trying to hurt somebody. So those are the differences, bro. Do you have any like kind of like big time questions? I know that sounds silly, but these are all things that I don't think people really know. Like, I don't think they really pay attention to. But like, I don't really know
what question I have. I don't know if it's quite the same ballpark, but how often does like a typical boxing student, how much do they like heavy spars apart as opposed to light sparring?
Most gyms really, it depends on your gym. Every gym has a slightly different opinion about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Also depends on how good you are. Also depends on how good the people that you're sparring are. So it's tough because it's hard not to be macho.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is that sometimes people really feel like they need to get one over on you, and they try to hurt you.
Yeah.
And sometimes that takes a little bit of a time to get that trust between instructor, you as a client, and then all the people that are in the classes with you. And the more you get to know those people and start to mesh and meld together, assuming all the personalities, because that stuff matters, bro. That stuff matters. There's nothing worse than like someone coming into a new gym or a new class and trying to like peacock.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that they'll either pick a fight, or someone will in the class that's normally there will feel away and then feel like they got to teach the new guy a lesson, which ends up causing a whole bunch of like extra aggression that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
Sparring is just to help you get the look, to see it, right? To, someone's, maybe they don't have bad intentions, but there's an opening and someone hits you with it and you're like, damn, I didn't see that coming,
Yeah.
but they just touch you with it, you know, when you're like, oh, I could have, man, he could have, if he'd have loaded up and hit me there, he'd have put me on the floor. Or, you get ready to punch and, you bring your hands down and bang, and you get hit and you're like, shit, if he would have really loaded up on that one, he could have knocked me out on that one. I need to make sure that I pay attention, versus like, and then knowing where that level is, where is that level exactly? As far as aggression is concerned. I worked out with this dude that was, he was a Krav Maga instructor, and he only knew one speed. He only knew one speed, and it was cool. It just sometimes always took a second for my brain to calibrate the speed. And so we would be throwing like, you know, um, there's a drill. There's a drill where, you know, you go, you just throw a 1, 2, 3, and you go defense, right? So you might catch, parry, and then you throw the 1, 2, 3, and then they throw 1, 2, 3. So you go back and forth. And sometimes, you know, he would just, you just be like bang, 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 and you're like, fuck. Like, god damn, slow down. Like I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on 1, 2, 3, and he was like 1, 2, 3. And he really stepped into him. So sometimes, you have to, like, you start to get to know your sparring partners. Um, Also, it depends on what are you trying to accomplish? Meaning, like, if you're trying to get ready for a fight, that's one thing. Um, does it make sense? Because again, light sparring, you could probably do that almost every day.
Yeah.
Like you could do that every day. Hard sparring, a couple times a week, at most, a couple
Yeah.
times a week. Like hard sparring, like where people were really like
They come
throwing
full.
with
Yeah.
throwing with bad intentions, and not. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean to hurt you, but you have to get a look. Like you have to get unless the things are coming back at you at the speed at which you're going to get. You need to see it at the speed at which it's coming. You don't want to get in the ring and then you got a freaking Jaron Ennis coming at you, and you're like, oh, this is 10% faster than everything I've seen since I
Yeah.
in the ring. And then you have to recalibrate and adjust. Suddenly your defense is just a tick slow. And if you're just a tick slow,
You have to get charged. Yeah.
you get hit. So you generally, you're sparring to prepare for a fight. I mean, you're obviously sparring, Joe Schmo regular guys like us. You know, you're doing it to get the competition, to get the good looks, right? What'll happen is if you have a lot of bad habits, it'll show. If you
Yep.
let your hands drop all the time when you're on the bag, it'll show because your arms will get tired quick. Um, if you don't cover up properly, if you don't move your head properly, it'll come up, it'll show. You'll get in there and with somebody that knows what to look for, and you'll mess around, get hit all the time. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I
But
know
I've
it's
heard
kind of long.
some other stories like um, some people saying like basically like unless both parties agree, if a person is either too heavy handed, it's like first time maybe a warning, the second shot like nobody in the class want to work with him.
Every situation is a little bit different, bro. Every situation is a little bit different. So what will happen is like maybe, you know, you go into a newer class and you're kind of heavy handed, and what'll end up happening is that somehow, you know, and depending on how and if the instructor gives you a couple of warnings or whatever, you might have the instructor might start working with you, or the instructor might put you with somebody that's, you know, going to either get you to shape up or they're going to shape you up.
Yeah,
You know, if you're in a class where you clearly can whoop everybody in the class, then the instructor might work with you personally because you might be too, you know, too whatever. But again, as an instructor myself, I look to try to make sure everybody is having a good, a solid experience.
yeah,
And so if I see, okay, this person is rambunctious,
yeah,
right? And say that I still can't tell if he's being malicious,
yeah,
right? I'm like, then I might, then it's my job to try to get him to dial him or her, get them to try to dial that back so that they're not quite so gung ho. Be like, hey man, look, calm down. You know, we're just training. You know, I'll give you an opportunity on the bag to get all that out. You know,
yeah,
we're just working with each other so that you get a look, so you can see something coming back at you. And if I can't communicate that properly to the person, then that's when something has to be done. You really don't want a person to affect the rest of the class. Like you're like, you know, hey, you're ruining everybody else's time. I mean, again, dude, part of the reason why I wanted to do this bag class in the first place was because I would go to boxing classes and I'm like, yo, I just want to beat on the bag, bro. Like, shut up. Like, just let me, not like shut up as in like, I don't want to hear what you have to say. Shut up is in like they're always trying to like accommodate so many other people and do all this other stuff. And there's so many things going on. And it's like, yo, bro, just can I just get over here on the bag for a little while and just beat on the bag a little bit, you know? And it always is like a switch, and it was always too much.
yeah,
And you know, I'm like, yo, just give me a couple combinations, and I'm just gonna work a couple combinations on the bag. And so that's part of the reason why I did this in the first place. I'm like, this is the type of bag class I want to take. This is the kind of bag class I want to take. Um, but yeah, it's you know, it's and that's another thing too. You're with the bag, you're not dependent on somebody else.
yeah,
You know, like it doesn't matter if they're having a bad day. It doesn't matter if they're tall, if they're small, if they're big, or if they're fast, if they're slow. You know, it's going to be the same every single time. You know, it is helpful. It's nice to be able to work with somebody, but sometimes it's like you need to be able to like, okay, I just really want to get my workout in. I don't want to have to I don't want to have to jerk around with all this other stuff.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Got any other questions about? Got any questions or any questions about bags and or gloves? I mean, we don't have
Um,
to.
After seeing these gloves, seeing the amount of like foam and padding, what's the likelihood you would see somebody's individual fingers in a competition bag? I think you know where I'm going.
When you were what?
What is the likelihood you see someone's individual fingers in the competition glove?
Oh, in here,
Yeah,
what's the likelihood that what?
you see your person's individual like fingers and knuckles.
Oh, um, I mean, you won't see them, but you'll feel them. You'll feel them. Real talk. Like
What's
you
this? The
absolutely.
Gypsy Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah, his gloves were absolutely screwed up. Yeah, he's a crook. Um, Yeah. Where you would feel these, yeah, you can feel the knuckles. Like you can properly placed punches, you can feel the knuckles. There's ways to combat that though. If you know what you're doing, there are ways to combat that. Like you can that door swings both ways. There are parts of your body that you can use to discourage someone from being a little bit too again rambunctious. So if you parry somebody's shot onto your elbow,
Yeah, I know about
so
elbows gonna win every time.
yeah, so if somebody does have a glove like this and they're coming at you, you can parry their glove and bring your elbow up and have knuckles right on the and fire your elbow right into their knuckles. That'll break a hand. That'll break a hand. That'll discourage bad behavior. When they're throwing, say, body shots, if you can time it right and catch a knuckle with the elbow when they're throwing a body shot, that'll discourage some bad behavior. But you have to be pretty precise with that.
Gotcha.
You got to be pretty precise, and that's not something just anybody can do. What was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. See, you remember I was talking about the perforations? So I don't know if you can even see that. See all
Yeah.
those holes there?
Yeah.
So they're completely perforated on the inside there. I don't know if you could tell. There's like 2 rows of holes there, 2 rows of holes there.
There's a ridge too.
Yep. And here in the middle. Yep. Super. Yeah. And that's a pretty like thick. In fact, that's actually probably the only part of this glove that's almost bigger than all the rest of the gloves, all the other ones, that part. And it's perforated all the way down to the bottom of it's perforated all the way down to here. So there's holes all through this whole part right here, versus in this glove, there's none at all. Yeah. Right. So those are some of the like little differences between a professional glove and just a professional boxing glove, and then like a kind of a sparring glove versus like a bag glove. Those are some of the differences. Yeah. Yeah, and that's about it. 14, 16, a guy my size, a guy your size, 14 ounce, 16 ounce is probably the way to go. Get a pair of 12 ounce to 10 ounces, maybe if it's your second pair of gloves. So if I were to suggest to anybody getting a pair of gloves like this for their first pair, is not a bad way to go. This guy or this guy. Because it's a nice universal glove. If you go sparring, doing some light sparring, no one's going to be like, hey, you can't use those. Usually, though, people will have a 16-ounce rule about sparring. Most gyms, they won't let you spar unless you're rocking 16-ounce gloves. So that's why it's safer to get a 16-ounce glove, because you can use it for everything. So something like that. That's about it. Outside of that, I also was going to say, like, our not NAZO boxing, this is just going to be a separate clip just because I wanted to. Our NAZO gloves any good? And bro, these gloves have lasted. This brand of glove has lasted because they're not really known for their gloves. They're known for their bags. If you know what you're looking for, you'll see a lot of professional gyms now have NAZO bags all over now. They've been doing a lot of work for a lot of people. But after how hard I beat the hell out of that first pair, these guys are still just like, I mean, they still feel they feel like they're still breaking in. And these 2 pairs of gloves are 4 months old. And they still feel like they're still getting broken in. And I mean, I throw my hands every day. I also cycle through my gloves too. I don't wear the same pair every single day. So day 1, day 2, day 3, I cycle through my gloves also. So, anywho, yeah, man, I just wanted to do a quick little glove talk just because it was on my mind. And I'm just trying to kind of stack up on the content and just kind of get up here and chit chat. Oh, yeah. Do me a favor, not you, but to the 1, 2, 3 people that may see this. This is my regular channel, but I have a boxing and sports channel. That's the Project 8020. Do me a favor, give me a follow over there because most of the boxing content and fitness content will be over there. I'm just doing this dual thing as like a kind of a dual promotion kind of a thing. So not for you, obviously, but for everybody else that may or may not see this, go over to the Project 8020 channel.
Maybe post a link in the description.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that right now. Hold on. How's your day going, bro?
Oh, it's going all right. Still
Yeah.
fighting the last of this infection. I feel
I mean,
I'm
go ahead,
almost
sorry.
100% of still hawking up some nasty loogies. Yeah, still a lot of mucus.
Do you drink milk?
Oh, not really.
Got you. So just the infection that kind of did it. Just
Yeah.
like where do you think you got it from? Can you speculate?
Oh,
You outside in the cold or something? Get wet?
I really have no idea.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you just never
Yeah.
really know. Sometimes you just never, ever know. Yeah, dog, I haven't gotten a chance to put these. I haven't gotten a chance to put these bitches to work. I kind of want to bust somebody up with these. I might have to go to the gym and slide in there real quick and be like, "Oh, can I get a couple rounds?" Look, man. Again, getting hit is not that cool. It's not that fun. Like I said, I don't know if you've ever really gotten your bell rung before. And you know what it is too?
Once or
It's
twice.
not.
Saw the stars and all of that.
Yeah. See, okay, so it's not always getting your bell rung. It's having to fight after it.
Yeah.
So you got this like crazy headache, and you're like, yo, I still have to like stay focused and stay on point because I'm not trying to get hit again. Not like that, you know.
Yeah.
Grazing blows. All right, that's fine. But taking heavy shots by somebody that's really trying to like, it's so, bro. The gap is so big. I kind of laugh because people think they're tough and they think they want to fight and stuff. And I'm like, and the gap between someone that fights professionally, okay, for someone that like me that throws my hands every single day, I hit a bag or hit something every single day. The gap between me and a professional fighter is like is enormous. Is enormous. It's not even close. Not even close. I would never, ever in my life go talking shit to a professional boxer. Never, ever, 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 ever. I mean, I ain't scared of nobody. I just have to take an ass whooping if I gotta take an ass whooping. But for me to sit here and say that I can like hang with like a Devin Haney, you know, and we're talking 135-pound guys. I'm 200 pounds, 195. Right? I still wouldn't be crazy enough to go talking shit to the guys that are like that.
Yeah.
I could probably hold my own, but I wouldn't never ever. I'm like, nah, let me just go ahead and stick with the bag because it doesn't punch back. I'm gonna stick with the bag for now. Yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, so that's the link to Project 8020. That's the other channel. So for most of the boxing content and the boxing classes, the free classes that I'm streaming, that's where those are going to be for those that may see this later on. For the bag that is back behind me, Actually, since we're talking gloves, um, I have these on my website for sale: 12 ounce, 16 ounce, and 12 ounce, 14 ounce, and 16 ounce. These are my kind of just like middle of the road go to gloves. Those you can find right there. And then if you use the code all caps YouTube, I'm going to do this like this YouTube 005, you get $25 off. So that would not you, Broken Blade. I got something for you. So that would put these at $70, and this is $100 glove. Full leather. In fact, hold on a second. Let me do this. Oops. And all I'm doing is look, I'm sharing the stuff that I use because it doesn't suck. They're handmade, made in the USA. Yep, hook and loop. That's all standard. 12 ounce, 14 ounce, 16 ounce. And that are these. And these are available on the website. And I put the discount code for $25 off. So if you're into that, cool. Also, the bag behind me, also made in the USA. This is the bag that I designed myself. And it is 3 feet by 14 inches, and it only weighs 40 pounds. So it is the largest, lightest bag you can find. I intentionally designed it that way so that it doesn't tear up your house. It comes with the hardware that looks like that. Okay, comes with the hardware. It is double-ended, so it's got a latch on the bottom, so you can use it free, or you can anchor it. Comes with a sandbag also. This is my baby. This is a project that I had been working on for a while. So, and hold on. And Broken Blade did the artwork. So, bam. That's what that looks like too. So, let's see. That's what the bag looks like there. It's actually pretty cool, bro. So I ghosted on a person there on the inside, and then gave all the targets. So head, hooks for up top, hooks body shots, shot to the solar plexus. So I gave you targets for all of those things. I don't know, man. It's I'm pretty excited about it. I was a little bit scared at first, but now that it's out there, I'm like, all right, well, let's go gangbusters. So I'm still fine tuning the class. My sound is still not quite right, but I'm getting there. But anyways, that's about it, bro. I'm probably gonna do a stream a little bit later on. We're gonna get into some of these politics. It's a little bit exhausting right now, to say the least. Have you been paying attention to what's been going on?
A little bit somewhere like remember seeing like in my feed. Apparently, the shutdown. At least one of the reasons is the Dems are wanting health care for illegal immigrants.
Healthcare for illegal immigrants, huh?
Y'all have been hella dragging your heels dealing with actual citizens, but you want to go all out on people that aren't here legally.
I mean, it is kind of a slap in the face to black people. It really is. It's a slap in the face, big time.
See, black people and vets.
Yeah. Oh man, big time, bro. Getting anything done in the VA for the VA is like, because we were trying to get some stuff done before my pops left, and the only reason why, like, they should have been taking care of him and doing stuff for him, and he just didn't qualify, you know. And I would imagine that the valley fever and a bunch of the other stuff that messed him up, I would imagine that, you know, his stint in the military had something to do with it for sure.
Would not be
But
surprised.
yeah, so I don't know, bro. I don't we don't have any friends. We don't have any friends in this thing. And I keep hearing people, you know, coming around. I think people are coming around. I think people are starting to understand. But man, look, I just on my community tab, you know, these guys in Chicago, right? If you legally have a weapon, this guy was legally had a weapon. Everything, license and everything was straight, and they still locked him up and tried to give him a felony, even though he had the actual licenses up to date and everything, had his paper legit and everything. And they've got him going through a whole bunch of, you know, locked him up for 24 hours, and you know, it just, again, there's a reason why why hypertension is one of the leading causes of death for Black men. That's insane. Hypertension.
Yeah.
Insane. Stress. We are literally, our lives are being shortened by stress. That's crazy. That's wild. So, you know, it is what it is. What else we got going on here? I'm trying to see. Yeah.
But bringing it back around, I've done some research. One of the best ways to help your body deal with stress is cardio exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, maybe get a bag.
Maybe get a bag. That'll help you out. They'll help. Now, it's loud. So, you know, you do have to think about your neighbors and the time that you're doing stuff. You might need a garage or somewhere that you can be inside, or, you know, you got to think about that kind of stuff. Hey.
Maybe buy some of those sound pads.
Yeah, sound, and then absolutely. And so I'm glad you actually talked about it. So, because part of the reason why I made this one the way that I did, so you can see up there at the top above my head there, up there, that it's short because, you know, because of where I have it listed. But what comes with the bag is a Velcro and vinyl strap to hang the bag instead of a chain. What I found was, and I didn't know this, Broken Blade. So if you were to take a chain, just a regular chain that you normally use, and put on that loop right there, and then hang it off of these two rings right here that are attached to that are attached to the thing here. So if you were to use chain right there,
yeah,
what happens is the chain, believe it or not, rubs hard enough to actually cut through the metal, through the loop. I mean, it would take it would take a good while, but it can cut through there. It actually can do it. And so when I was dealing and talking with the manufacturer about, you know, choosing all of the materials, you know, we had to talk about it. And he's like, because of the lightness of the bag, because how light the bag is, he's like, this will virtually never break. Like, it's virtually indestructible, and it's pretty inexpensive to replace. So if it ever broke, you could easily replace it, and it's quieter.
Yeah.
So I opted for this, which is, again, I was like, I didn't even really realize that this was a thing, but I can tell now, even when you hit the bag, it's like it just has a quieter, like there's not a rattle, a lot less
Yeah.
rattle, you know? So that was a choice that I think is going to be beneficial for everybody. I think that's about it, man. I'm gonna put one more link, the link to this guy, in the comments. And like I said, $25 off for anybody that wants a light heavy bag, the world's first light heavy bag. 40 pounds. It's 3 feet by 14 inches. And perfect for youth, perfect for old folks, perfect for beginners, perfect for everybody. Like I said, I beat the hell out of the damn thing. I tried to break it. Like very first one that I had made, I tried to break it. I beat the hell out of that thing, and it wasn't even breathing hard. So if I can't do it, then I would imagine your badass kids can't either. So that's about it.
Kids by surprise, but seriously.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You remember Bebe's kids?
Yeah, yeah.
Bebe's kids. Yeah. So that's it. 16 ounce, 16 ounce. That's crazy. You would think there would be they would look closer to the same. It's hard to believe that they're the same size glove, same weight glove. That's crazy. Yeah. But again, slightly better made, slightly better, nicer materials, bigger. See the difference? Sparring glove, bag glove. Sparring glove, bag glove. Anyway, good shit. And let's see. I think I'm gonna repost that workout. Oh wait, it might. Did I already do it? I'm gonna repost that class from earlier throughout the day. So if you feel like you want to go back and
Yeah.
get a workout in, you can. I haven't made it. I haven't taken it off alive yet, so I think you could even the original. You can still go back and watch. You can still watch it.
Okay,
I haven't
cool.
taken it off. I think it's still because usually what I think I'm going to do is the live class. You have to catch it live or a replay live, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it separately and put it on the workout channel as a whole. On the workout channel. Yeah. And then it'll be behind a paywall on the website, but I don't even talk about that part. I'm not going to talk about just you got either to catch it live on Project 8020 or you can catch it after the fact on the Project 8020 workout channel. Like that. So anyway, any questions, Broken Blade? Oh, also, yeah, I was going to say, I know gloves, and I'm not talking about you, not talking to you.
Yeah.
Your gloves are meant to protect your hands. So just like your shoes, you shouldn't skimp on your shoes. You probably shouldn't skimp on your gloves either. Like your hands get sore. They'll, you can break them, you can hurt them. You don't want to do that. Skimping on your boxing gloves is not the thing to do. Let me just put that out there. Because I think some people are comfortable with going and getting the Walmart special for $20-$25. Look, you can do that. I get it. Maybe things are tight. I understand. Spend upwards of $70-$75 on your gloves and up. Don't buy anything less than that. What's up, Jerome? How you doing, sir? Yeah, don't skimp and cheap out on your gloves, please. it's your hands. You'll get stress fractures. You'll hurt your knuckles. You'll make it to where you'll if you hurt your hands to the point to where you won't want to box anymore, you know, that stuff matters. When I first went to Rumble and I was taking 2 classes a day, training, hitting the gym, and I was still going to like the boxing gym, bro, my calves were super sore because I was always bouncing on my toes.
Yeah.
And then my hands were so sore, like so sore. I'm like, yo, I don't want to punch anything, like nothing. I don't want to punch a thing. Like, have your hands ever been that sore? Like where you're just like, yo, I don't even your knuckles are sore. It was so bad. I'd never felt anything like that before. Never felt anything like I was like, I've never wanted to tap out more in my life. Like, all right, hit the bag. I'm like, I want to be like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want to. I'm good. I'm good. I've never wanted to tap out more in my life. So, Jerome, do you box, bro? Have you ever boxed? Did we talk about this? I'm kind of curious. I'm just kind of curious to see who boxes and who doesn't. You know, who gets a little bit of value out of this and who doesn't. I think this is just a great way to stay fit. You know, great way to stay fit and a great way to learn how to protect yourself. You know, and you get a certain level of confidence about you when you feel confident, comfortable throwing your hands. You know, when people kind of get into your space, you don't freak out. You kind of like, you can, all right, let me just see what's going on before I put up my dukes. You know, you don't rattle quite as easily when you get comfortable throwing your hands. And I think learning how to throw tight, efficient, strong punches is good for everybody. You know, because most times, bro, like the type of people that'll try to pick a fight in public are the type of people that for real don't know, like they don't know what's up.
Yeah.
And so if someone's willing to try to pick a fight in public, you already know that they're like on some bull, you know, never boxed, always wanted to do it, and martial arts. Look, man, like I said, I'm doing kind of beginners classes. So, you know, if it's something that you want to try, you've never done before, you know, doing a simple boxing class, heavy bag class is a great way to kind of get started. So let me know if you ever, well, like I said, I'm gonna be streaming classes every day. I'm streaming classes every day. So, you know, hop on and jump in there and we'll see. Anyway, all right, Broken Blade, I'm gonna get myself something to eat. I'm starving like Marvin. And then we have another stream. I'll see you probably in a few hours here. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, I think with that being said, Broken Blade and I, where are we at? I think we're out. Peace.
Peace.
Because that's just what's happening. We are winning. We winning.